Good evening again, for those of you who are just joining. My name is Donna Gordon. Thank you for taking time out of your evening for this Zoom meeting. This is a meeting where I can answer some of your questions that may be unique to new families and go over our phased reopening plan, and then really some just general information about St. Mark's that you'll need to know as we start the school year. So I'm going to be sharing my screen with you and beginning PowerPoint. If you have a question, you could type it into the chat. I have my facilities manager is with me this evening, Mr. Rossi Allen, and then our IT specialist, Greg Gilman, is with me as well. So between the three of us, we should be able to answer questions. I guess, start off by saying I'm probably not going to have answers to all of the questions because we are in such a changing environment, but I will do my best. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Nope. Here we go. So here is my welcome to our new families. I really want to thank you for choosing St. Mark's. This is my 5th year as principal of St. Mark's Catholic School, and I'm very blessed to be here. Prior to this, I was a teacher and an assistant principal over at St. Paul's in Nampa, and God called me here as the principal, and I can honestly say I feel home here. St. Mark's is family to me, and the community is incredible, very supportive to the teachers, to myself, and I think it's a two-way street for sure when it comes to our community and the support that we offer each other. So we are in this together, this unprecedented time together, and so we will support each other and be here to help you, guide you. Typically with our new families, if you have not been connected with a mentor family, we've had a lot of new families coming in just in the last few weeks. We had a new family join today. So we try to connect a new family with a mentor family to answer questions that you may have about St. Mark's. Even our veteran families are new in a sense because this environment that we are learning in this year is different for all of us. But again, we're here to support each other. So I want to kind of go over briefly what the agenda is for tonight. We'll start with prayer. I want to do a summary of the reopening plan. I hope all of you have had an opportunity to look at the virtual town hall meeting where we rolled that out. So I'm just going to briefly go over that schedule for our reopening plan. Some of the questions that we got from that virtual town hall meeting were a lot of what ifs. Well, what if this happens? And what if this happens? And that's where I'm going to do my best to answer those questions, and with the help of guidance that we're receiving from Central District Health. And then I want to go over just some procedures and protocols that would be applicable even if we weren't in the pandemic situation that we are, and then try to answer your questions as we go. We do have the chat feature. You are all on mute, and I am recording this and we'll post it on our website for those families that weren't able to attend. So I am a big lover of prayer. I know prayers are answered all the time and every day. And so I'd love to begin in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Good and gracious God, we thank you for this day you have given to us. We ask that you help us to use it wisely, for gain, not loss, good, not evil, success, not failure. All these things we ask in order that you will be pleased with this day you have given to us. We ask that you guide us in this meeting. We know that wherever 2 or 3 or more are gathered, you are with us. So please guide us as we plan for our school year. May we do so in the safest way possible for all of our family and our community. And may we have a successful start to the school year. All these things we ask in Jesus' name. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. So to start off, I want to go over the phased schedule starting on Monday the 17th. We are officially starting week 1, our orientation week. We are having small groups of students come for a half-day orientation from 8 a.m. to noon, and parents signed up for their best day. I think we just have a few families that haven't signed up for one of those days. This is an excellent opportunity for us to meet students in a small setting and go over the procedures that they're going to be facing as we start the school year. They'll get to meet their teachers, go over those protocols, receive assigned materials and Chromebooks if needed. And why I say if needed, last year when we went to remote learning, we loaned out about 50 Chromebooks to families that did not have access to a computer for their child. If you have access to a computer at home, we'd love for you to use that computer. And the reason I say that is we do have 300 Chromebooks. I'm nervous about sending them home every day with students, carrying them back and forth. If they get broken, they are a hot commodity right now, and we won't be able to replace them if we lose a bunch of them. So we'd like to avoid them going back and forth if there's access at home. If there's not, then we will definitely assign a Chromebook to the student. When they're in the building, each student will have their own Chromebook to use. We won't be sharing them. They will be assigned that Chromebook. But again, just asking if you have a computer at home for your student to use, that would be great. So we can mitigate that risk of potentially breaking those devices. So that's our half-day orientation. And then week 2, we begin the AB schedule. We have sent that schedule out. So it wasn't a perfect split of A through H comes on these days and the rest come on the other day. We really had to look at trying to get an even split of classes and making sure families were all coming on the same day for scheduling for parents to make that easier for them. So we are beginning those AB days in class instruction for half. The other half will work on assignments posted on Google Classroom or the Seesaw platform. We are going to start specials that week, that second week, really just students getting to know who their special teachers are, and they'll tell them what to expect for the year, and we'll begin our lunch program as well. And Friday is a check-in day where the teachers will try to connect with each family, see how things are going. How did the first week go? It's a check-in. What are your needs? What are some wrinkles that we may need to iron out? That week 3, starting September 31st, the same A/B schedule coming in. And the change in this is that half of our student body will be here and the other half will be logging into live class sessions. So they will be receiving 4 days of instruction that week 3, but just half of them will be doing that at home. And then we're planning for our first mass on week 3. It's going to look different. We can't bring our whole student body to the parish. So it'll be a group of students that will be at the church, and then we will be live streaming it into the classrooms. deacons and Eucharistic ministers will come over to the school and make sure that those students that are of age to receive communion do so. And then we'll have a rotating schedule so everybody has an opportunity to be in the space. The church can safely distance 250 people at 6 feet apart. That's almost our entire student body, but we're going to take it in smaller pieces and probably take a third of our students over for masses until we're in a category that allows us to not be socially distanced or larger group gatherings. And then that week 4 is when we're going to have all students on campus for in-person learning for all of our students. I'm excited about the phased-in approach because it is a gradual approach to our new procedures and what school is going to look like, and we want to get it right. We don't want to find ourselves in a situation where we open and then immediately have to close. And as I had mentioned in our virtual town hall meeting, it takes a village. It's going to take our whole community to pull this off, and really we can control what's happening in the school, in the environment of the school. It's outside of school where we're really just asking for that parent support of wearing masks, watching distancing, washing hands, so we remain open. So I'm going to check the chat to see if I have questions. Sorry. Okay. Okay, so some question. It only shows kindergarten as a 20-minute orientation. The PT Fast program that we use for scheduling appointments doesn't allow us to do 240 minutes. So the time is 8 to noon for all orientations. Kindergarten and preschool orientations are starting that Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and they will be for the whole day. Thank you. That was good to clarify that. Will Mass have student cantors? To eventually, yes. As we start and ease into our first masses, it won't look like it has in the past, meaning having 8 different readers and a cantor. We do have a mass choir. They will begin to meet and start to practice. So yes, there will be cantors, but not right at the beginning of the year. Preschool orientation, they have what you signed up for. It's my understanding it's a half a day. The preschool program, you will be receiving information from Miss Anita and Mrs. Ricks on that scheduling. Let's see. Yes, A group is Monday, Wednesday, and B group is Tuesday, Thursday. Middle school is working on potentially something different on that Friday, and they will be communicating that out soon. And it has to do with scheduling that first A day that we're back. You know, the B students would have that day off, and then the A students, when they're home, they have work to do on Tuesday, and then the B students would have work to do on Friday. But like I said, they'll send that unique schedule out. Parents do not attend for the 4 hours of preschool orientation. Know that you'll be allowed to bring your student to the preschool door, check into look at the classroom, and then it'll just be the students and the teachers. So I have a question, what do the A students do on B days? So if we go back up to week 2 right here. So A students, this very first week, the B students will have work they can do at home. It's not going to be get online, watch a live class. It's here's an assignment that I received, and I'm going to work on that and bring it when I come back to school. And so that week 2, the kids that are on the B schedule will have work at home to do. A students will be taught on Monday, Wednesday. Those same lessons will be taught to the B students on Tuesday, Thursday. Week 3 is where we change to where everybody's getting the same lesson. It's just half of them are getting it from home, and while half of them are getting it live. Will there be homework club? Great question. On week 1. On week 1, our orientation week of half days, no. We will begin homework club on week 2 here. And for those, if you're a Monday, Wednesday, homework club will be available Monday, Wednesday to those families. So in other words, if you're a Monday, Wednesday family, you can't use the homework club on that Tuesday when you're not there. Excellent question about school supplies. That first orientation, because we're only going to have a maximum of 60 students here, and I'll get to the maps for drop off and pick up and those things, but because we have such a small population, parents will be able to, with a mask on, will walk their students to the playground, where there will be tables set up to drop supplies off that orientation week. And we're also going to have tables up front. So the student, if they're older, they can carry their supplies, they can set it on a table out front as well if a parent doesn't want to walk them onto the playground. So we'll have outside tables set up to receive their supplies. Will there be, I will get to the question about a 7:30 a.m. drop off. I'll get to that. Okay, and so I've got Alan, he's writing down some of these questions. And so for the individual questions, I can definitely address. Dress code, and I'll get to that. Our orientation week, the students are free to wear spirit wear, St. Mark's spirit wear. So jeans and a spirit shirt that is St. Mark's, or their sweatshirt for that first week. When they are online, we do have an expectation that they look presentable. They're not in their pajamas. They're not in spaghetti straps. They follow the uniform, you know, the dress code. If they're online, do they have to be in their school uniform? No, they just have to be dressed appropriately. So I'm going to move on, because we had some what if questions from the last, you know, what happens if there's a case of COVID in the school, and each one of those cases is going to be handled as an individual case, because each case is going to have unique circumstances. What has been helpful is guidance from Central District Health, and they have this flow chart. What if there's an exposure? So this is for a teacher or a family member, and then there's a decision tree for students as well. So kind of want to walk through this briefly. Are you experiencing any symptoms? And they include, and they list the symptoms of fever, loss of smell or taste. There's other symptoms that sound just like a 24-hour bug or a cold or those things. But if you're experiencing any of these things, yes, I have these symptoms. There's this great website that has further detail on, I have some symptoms, so I need to stay home. I need to separate myself from others and call my doctor if I suspect I've got some of these symptoms, and the school should be notified. And then quarantine yourself. If there is exposure, quarantine yourself from exposure. That's, again, if you have symptoms of COVID. If you don't have any symptoms, have you been in contact with somebody who has, or has been diagnosed with or tested positive? If you have, is there direct physical contact? This is something I really want to emphasize, and I think it's very important. Direct physical contact, close contact. What that means is within 6 feet for 15 or more minutes. So at pickup time, you may see students and they're going to have their masks on at pickup time, and they might not be less than 6 feet apart. We're going to try really hard, but they might not be. And you might think, oh my gosh, it's close contact. They're not going to be within 6 feet for 15 minutes or more. That's a close contact. So again, if you don't have symptoms, but you've been in contact, a direct close contact, meaning you have spent more than 15 minutes with somebody less than 6 feet apart, or yes, but not close contact. That yes, that I had direct physical contact or close contact, that's when we quarantine. If it's no close contact, then you're gonna just practice the 3 W's. Wash your hands, watch your distance, and watch for symptoms. Then if you don't have any symptoms, but you've been in contact with somebody who has been contacted, if the answer is no, you're just going to keep continuing practicing distancing and good hygiene. So that's kind of our decision tree. If somebody were, so I'll move to the student one, but if a student or a teacher has come into somebody that has been tested positive or suspected of COVID, we go through that decision-making tree, but we also, as a school, look at how many close contacts were there. So the decision tree is very similar for a student. And so if I have a student and they have the symptoms and they need to be quarantined, does that mean I have to close the whole school down? It doesn't. I work on a case-by-case basis with Central District Health, and they determine, with our help, how many close contacts were there, more than 15 minutes, less than 6 feet apart. What is the exposure? If there weren't any close contacts, then that student would be quarantined and that we would continue with school. If there were several, more than 7 is what CDH is saying right now, if there were more, then maybe the class would be quarantined, but it doesn't mean the whole school. If those exposures happen on the playground or on the bus or in a more common area, then we have to make a decision based on that. So it's really hard for me to just give a definite answer. One case is going to close us down because it won't. We just have to be very mindful of the close contacts and contact tracing of where that exposure, potential exposure, happened. So these are just 2 examples of trees, decision-making trees that we use to determine that. So I'm going to take 1 second. I have a lot more information to get through tonight. Alan, are you seeing?
As soon as you pull it up.
Okay.
About students with allergies, water nose.
Right. So that's where our parents are really going to come in. What if I have a student and they just have allergies and they present the same symptoms, runny nose, sore throat? What CDH is, in the meetings that I've been in with them, really talk about is it's something out of the ordinary. So my staff kind of chuckled at me this week because one of the signs is fatigue, and I am so tired. It has been a really long summer, and I'm not getting much sleep these days, so I'm tired. But it's something out of the ordinary. I am fatigued, but did I get a good night's sleep and I'm waking up fatigued? Then I might be concerned. Is this something out of the ordinary? Do I have an elevated temperature? Those things, and some of that is, it could just be a common cold. So if there hasn't been exposure, you haven't been in contact, you would stay home with those symptoms, and if you're feeling better in 24 hours, then you come back to school. You don't have to quarantine for 14 days if you know that it's allergies, if that makes sense.
Students have lockers issued, not in middle school, but
so lockers. We are not going to use lockers in the middle school at the start of the school year. Each student will have a table, at least 5 feet long for their chair. And then they have the whole side of the table to keep their backpack and their books and those things. You know, if we get into a yellow or a green zone and social distancing guidelines change for us, then we can consider locker usage. But for right now, we will not be using lockers.
Microwaves will not be available for lunch.
So microwaves, when we're in the cafeteria, we usually roll out 1 or 2 microwaves, but lunch will be delivered to the classroom this year, so we will not have access to microwaves. If the teacher, you know, I guess if the teacher has one in their classroom, which I can't think of one that currently does, they will not be available. I will get to the question about ordering spiritware, and I'm gonna actually move on to information just about St. Mark's. It'll be refreshing not to talk decision-making trees and COVID and how we're all of our protocols, although that's very important. It's nice to actually get excited about talking about the start of the school year and what that's going to look like. We do provide a student information system. It's called Redeker, and parents and students have 24/7 access to grades, progress reports, report cards, and communication with teachers. Within that software program and student information system, we have access to admin plus notify in case of an emergency. So we can send out a text to all parents if school is closed for a snow day, if there's important information that needs to go out. So it's very important that your information is accurate. So when we're pushing those notifications out, you are getting them. We also, if it's an important announcement, in addition to admin, we'll post it on our website. We'll post information on our Facebook page. We'll send out an email through Redeker software. Again, we try to get that communication out to as many different medias as we can. Plus portals, that is the access to the information system. You will receive a login and password. It says it was sent last week. That's not correct. It will be sent. It will be sent to you if you haven't got it already. Some families, like I said, have just registered today, so they would not have received that. I just want to give a brief, this is what Plus Portal looks like. You log in, here's your student's homeroom teacher. This is the student name here. There you'll see their grades. There's a way to email teachers. There's forms available. There's a directory. This is a really important tab right here because this directory has emails for the families in your student's grade for any parent that has agreed to share their contact or their email information. You can look at the directory. We used to print one out every year, and now we have access to all of that parent information. You'll also on that page, notifications and alerts, school announcements, and links to files and folders. Each student has their own portfolio, and that's where we post progress reports and post report cards. It's helped us save a lot of paper. In kindergarten, we'll still send home a paper report card. All the other report cards are just available to parents. We post it right in the portfolio. So that's our Plus Portals program that we use to track students. There's that directory I was saying, our staff is in there, and there's the parent directory. So if you need to contact your mentor family that you should be connecting with, or anybody in the class, you have that information. I briefly want to go over what type of assessments that we do here at St. Mark's. This is going to be very important for us with several new families like yourselves coming in. It's good for us to assess as soon as possible so we know where our students' strengths and needs are. We do take the Idaho Reading Indicator, which for K through 3, that is something that is done statewide. We give curriculum-based measurements for grade 4 through 8. These tests are administered by our reading specialists. We give a STAR test to test for reading levels, instructional levels, and then MAPS testing. This is our standardized testing that all Catholic schools in the state of Idaho use, and it's widely used across the nation. We test 2nd through 8th graders in reading, math, and language usage early September and at the end of the school year. And results and goals for each student go home at parent-teacher conference time. That information will be really important to us this year. We weren't able to administer spring MAPS testing. So again, assessments are going to be really important for us this year, so we can find out where our students' needs are and help differentiate our instruction to meet their needs specifically. We have been notified that MAP testing, if needed, can be done remotely. So we are wanting to do our assessments as soon as possible so we can get that data. And it's nice to know we have that option if necessary. We didn't have that option in the spring. And then we have ways to progress monitor the success of our students. Like I mentioned, we have a reading specialist. We have a child first team that meets monthly to go over data and identify students who may need some intervention help or extra help. If there's a student that is gifted and needs extra challenge, we meet and look at that data. We talk to parents if they have concerns, and we discuss the students' needs at those meetings. We are blessed to have a school psychologist on staff here at St. Mark's. We are the only Catholic school that has that resource, which is wonderful. If we have a student that we have concerns about and we've collected data and we feel that there's further testing that needs to be done. In the public school, if we were to refer to the public school, it might take us up to 6 months to get the data and get on their calendar, and we're blessed to be able to do testing the next day if we need to. So, and we also have a school counselor on staff, which I think this year is going to be very important. We know that distance learning has been troublesome for some students socially and emotionally, and Miss Jen does a wonderful job with our students and building relationships with them. And so again, we're blessed to have her on board. So now I want to get into some routines, and these will be new for our new families too, slightly different from what we've done in the past. But parking, I'm going to start off by saying patience is key when it comes to drop off and pickup. Specifically, pickup. Drop off is a little more graduated, so it doesn't cause as much of a traffic jam as it does at the end of the day. Typically, in a typical school year, you should plan on 10 minutes of being in the parking lot. It's not going to be pick up quick and leave. We need to make sure we are safe with our students and make sure that they get home safely with you. So patience is definitely the key. We're asking, please don't leave your car unattended. I will show you a map very shortly on the flow of traffic. And if you leave your car in idle because you're gonna walk across and you wanna talk to the teacher, it's blocking traffic down Northview, you get in trouble with the police, and it makes other parents really cranky. So if we can stay in our cars, that's what we're asking. If you have to leave your car, we have a parking lot. We've rearranged our parking lot so most of our teachers are parking at the west end of the building and off to the left, so those prime spots are available. You need to park your car and then cross at the crosswalk to pick up your student. We have some students with some allergies and some phobias about pets, so pets need to be, if you bring them, they need to be in your vehicle. And it's really important we don't park in front of the school between these drop-off and pickups times. So from 7:30 to 8:10, please don't park right in front of the school, and from 2:45 to 3:10. It seems every year we might have an event in the auditorium and parents come and they park their cars out front and the event runs late, and then the flow of our pickup does not go well. So those are the times that we can't park in front of the school. There are cutout spaces in the front of the school on the Northview side. Our school bus parks there, and then there's other spaces. Those are items that we actually reserve for our highest bidder at the auction. Those spaces go to them, and they pay a premium for them. So they are not. It's not part of our pickup procedures. Those spaces are reserved. So here's the drop-off map. This is Northview. This is Cole Road down here. When you're coming in, we drop off right here. We have 2 lanes for drop off. This is the quick drop off. It's not like 15 seconds. You help them out of the car and wish them the best day, and then we continue on. So here's where I'm talking about where we don't park during these drop off times and pickup times. We pull in, we drop off, we come out. There's drop off spots here. So we have 2 lanes here. If your child just dropped off here, they need to wait at the here in order to be crossed. And same for here. If they're dropped off here, they wait here and they cross. So those are the drop off direction and locations of how we drop our students off. As we begin the year, I had a question earlier about can we drop off at 7:30? And the answer to that is yes. We provide free supervision starting at 7:30. If it's 7:30 to 7:45, your student enters the building here and they go to the auditorium. If it's after 7:45, your students go through the gates at middle school and they enter the playground. During this phased-in approach, we're again, that orientation week, we're asking our kindergartners through our 8th graders if parents want to walk them to the playground. They may. When the bell rings, the teacher will come out and collect them and bring them into the building. So we're asking parents not to come into the building during this phased-in approach. For preschool, parents may park here. These spots, we try to keep these spots here empty, may park and come in this way. And the preschool is right about here. So they'll be greeted at the door to the preschool room. They can peek in, see what the classroom looks like, and then they may leave. So that's our drop off. And especially during this phased in approach, we're really trying to keep the number of people limited in the building. So we're not having parents come in to the building. Again, we'll have tables out here to drop off supplies that orientation week, and tables here as well.
Temperature check. You want to talk about temperature check?
Okay, so we are wanting to start the year doing some screenings, some temperature screenings. So on that orientation day, on our first couple weeks of the phased-in approach, we are going to try doing temperature screening for our students. So when you drop off, we will come to your vehicle and do a quick temp check. The latest guidance that just came out from Central District Health is that it's not necessary to do that. They're leaving it optional if you want to do it, but what they're finding is a high temp is not the first sign of COVID. It's not the first symptom of COVID, and that temperatures fluctuate for all humans. We wake up in the morning and it's one temperature, and then it can get elevated and it can drop. And so it has it scientifically, they're seeing that it's not proving to be a good preventative measure or as efficient of a measure. We would like to begin the year trying it to see the efficiency, to collect that data, to see, did we, if we have a student or a parent or a teacher that comes in with an elevated temperature, is it helping us? Is it effective? So I I will say, I don't know if it's something we're going to be doing for the entire year. The data is showing that we won't need to do that. But like I said, during this phased-in approach, when we have a small number of students, we want to try and see how efficient we can be with that. So morning routines, you may begin dropping students off at 7:30, not on orientation week, the week 2, please. You will be asked to remain in your vehicles or bring your student to the door or the gate. But again, we won't be in the building. Students will, at 7:30, they will come into the building, and we have the ability to have about 70 students in the auditorium at 6 feet apart. They stay there, they're quietly reading, working on homework, and then at 7:45, they enter the playground. And again, we're gonna test out taking temperatures before students enter the building. We're really relying on you as parents to do those checks in the morning before you bring them. If they're not feeling well, please don't send them. If for some reason we have a student that has a 99.9, we don't want the parents to have taken off and try to, we'd have to isolate the student and then try to get in touch with you. So it'd be greatly helpful if you all could do those checks before coming to school. The pickup routine. So all teachers are going to be with their students to help keep them socially distanced. Again, we'd ask you to remain in your vehicle, and we will bring your children to you. And every effort is going to be made to have students outside at 3 o'clock. In the past, sometimes classes run late, and if you've got a 5th grader and they don't come out till 3:05 and your other students are coming out earlier, it can create a jam. So we are going to make every attempt to be out there at 3 o'clock for students to be picked up. It is very, very, very helpful, especially as new families. If you have a name card in the dash of your car, I love getting to know our new families, and it makes it easy for me. I'm out there every day, and I can quickly take a peek in the dash of your car to recognize your last name, and then I can radio to the other folks out helping with pickup. The Lightfield family is here, and we can bring your students to you. So here's what pickup looks like. Same entry in, stay in your vehicle. Here's the zones that we have. 6th, 7th, and 8th grade will be in this area. We did some landscaping this summer where we used to have a privacy fence right here, and it created a bottleneck right here where all the kids were peeking around the fence to try to find where their parents were, and it really slowed things down. So now we will be able to use this entire space. The fence here is gone. We're still a secure playground because we have a fence here that locks our entire playground area to make that secure. So we will be able to spread out our middle school students. They'll be able to see their parents as they come and safely get to their vehicles. Kindergarten and 1st grade pickup is going to be in this area. The 1-2 combo in 2nd grade will be here, and 3-4 will be here. New this year is we're going to have 5th graders on the island. They will get crossed by a crossing guard, and they will be here. So if you are a parent of a 5th grader and you only have a 5th grader, this line is right for you. You can pull up, your 5th grader can get right in the car, and you can move on. Here's a waiting line, this row 2. If you're waiting to pick up a middle schooler, you can pull in right here, and then you can come across to pick up your middle schooler.
Also at the bottom too, middle school, wait for that right turn, middle of the screen.
Middle of the screen right here. Yes, so yes, you may come in from, if you have a middle schooler, you may come in from the Cole Road side and follow these arrows and get right in this line and do a small circle. We have several families that have elementary students and middle school students. So I will definitely make this slide deck available, so you can go back for reference on it. But definitely something we wanted to go over before school started. I usually go over this at back to school night, and I'll get to that in just a minute, but definitely wanted to go over these procedures. Any specific questions regarding, so multiple grades for pickup. My suggestion, if you've got multiple grades, come in here and get your elementary students here first, and then join the line and come over and get your middle school. How early can we get to the school to wait for pickup? I have parents that are here by 2:45, 2:40, and idling here. I guess the answer to that question would be as early as you would like. We won't, we have that no parking. So again, if you're idling here waiting for your students, that's fine.
Preschool parents would go in to pick up their child.
So right now we have it where the preschool parents park and get their students to pick up their students from the building. So that's what we're working with right now. I talked to the preschool teachers today. I haven't had a chance to run this by my facilities manager, Alan. They're talking about preschool in this area waiting here, so we don't have parents coming in, and we can put them by the flagpole and by the rock. And again, when we see you pull in, we say the name and we can walk them to you. That way we don't have parents coming in and out of the building and walking through kids and things like that. So for right now, especially during orientation week and this phased in schedule, we'll let the preschool parents come to pick up, and then we may shift to the outside pickup.
Can older siblings pick up preschoolers because they're going to be out on the playground, so they're going to be out there, so probably not.
So can older kids get preschoolers? I would say at this point, no. That's not how we've done it in the past. And I'm just trying to visualize, a middle schooler walking through all of the students and then coming into the building to pick them up. But so I'll have to think about that one a little more.
You want to show them on the map where Homework Club pickup is?
Oh, Homework Club. So Homework Club, if you have students that will be attending, again, not our orientation week, but starting on those AB days, this area right here, there's a door. We use the space here in the auditorium. We take the kids out to the playground during Homework Club. This is the old entrance to the church space. There's a doorbell right here. And so you can ring the doorbell, a staff member will come and let you in, and that will be the pickup for Homework Club.
We'll bring the kid to them, right? When I let the parents in.
Right. Yep. We'll have the child pick up their belongings, and we will bring them to the door for you. Good questions. All right. One of the questions we had from the virtual town meeting, and I addressed this already, we will be attending Mass, both in person and virtually, each Wednesday, and the tentative start date is September 2nd. Again, we are constantly going to be evaluating how we're doing. I will be in meetings with CDH every Monday at 1:30 to go over their new guidelines, to go over trends, to go over what Ada County is looking at our own data. But we're hoping to start masses on September 2nd. I wanted to talk about back to school night. I am going to reschedule that. It was scheduled for September 8th. That's our first week back fully as a whole school. So we need a little more time to see, before we do a back to school night. I'm covering a lot of the information I would have covered in back to school night this evening. I'm thinking either the 15th or the 22nd of September. We'll announce that date. And what we can expect from back to school night, and that'll be different from what we've done in the past, is there'll be Zoom meetings with your child's teacher. So we've always offered 2 sessions when we're here in person. So that will stay the same. We'll offer 2 sessions. We have families with multiple children, and usually they divide and conquer. One parent goes to one teacher and gets the information, and the other parent goes to another. We will offer 2 sessions. One session will be recorded and posted for families that have more than 2 siblings. But the first session is going to begin with a video presentation from Father Ben, myself. You'll meet some home and school folks, our school board, and our education foundation. So that'll be a recorded video. That'll be the welcome for the first session. So whatever session you're in, you're going to see that video. And then the teachers will provide 2 live sessions for what's going to happen in the classroom. What can you expect for curriculum? What can you expect for classroom protocols and procedures specifically? And you'll be able to ask teachers questions on that night. All right, so I wanted to briefly touch on volunteer hours. That's a big question. It's a requirement that we do 24 hours of volunteering at the school. And really that's when CDH guidelines permit us to do so. If we can't have parents in the building, I can't expect you to volunteer and get your volunteer hours. So that is definitely a sliding number. If we can have parents in the building, then say that happens in December and that's half the year, then the requirements would be go down to 12 hours. It'll just be depending on when we're in school. We do, you'll see 6 hours towards the annual dinner auction, and I'm gonna get to that. That's one of the last things I have to get to this evening. But the other 18 hours, you can be on our school board, our foundation. We need lunchroom helpers. We are going to be delivering lunch to our students at the start of the school year. And so we are looking for folks who are available from 10, Alan, what time? Because they're gonna help prepare too. So 10.
It will be, right now it's tentative to have 2 to 3 helpers from, I hope they can hear me. It's scheduled to have 2 to 3 helpers from 10:15 to 12:30, and then 2 to 3 helpers to come in at 11 to 12:30. We'll have a sign-up sheet.
Yeah, we'll have a sign-up sheet. We'll put that in our Friday facts. That's how we communicate every Friday. Please read that communication. But that's our biggest area of need right now. I'm actually trying to hire two part-time instructional aides at the school right now to help with our plan. But lunchroom helpers is really where we're needing that help, so we can efficiently get lunch to the students as quickly as possible, so they can eat and enjoy their recess time. So we're going to ask this year that families just maintain a log of their volunteer hours at home. We're going to post a form on a template for that under forms on our website. We used to have a blue binder alphabetized, and you came in and you logged your hours, and so it's going to be a little different for us, but it just maintain anything you're doing for the school. I'm going to collect those every quarter. I like to send out a reminder of the progress of our recorded hours. In order to volunteer at the school, all families have to take this safe environment workshop. This CMG Connect is something you will have access to in your own password. They provide lots of videos on safety, on driving safety, but the Safe Environment Workshop is a class that is an in-person class that's required for any new folks coming into the school. Because we are in a virtual situation this year, those will be by Zoom like this to do that workshop. It's about an hour to an hour and 20 minutes, hour and a half. Or what Catholic Mutual is offering is an online option. So since I've taken an in-person class, every year I have to go and watch a video to keep my certification, if you will, current. And so what they're allowing this year is a Zoom class to count as your in-person class, or to take the online class And then next year or whenever we're out of this pandemic situation, then do an in-person class, and we'll send information about that as well. But you have to have training before you can volunteer in the school. So we'll again, Friday Facts is the place to check for when we have those dates available for parents. Somebody asked about uniforms. Educational Outfitters, that's our main supplier of uniforms. They have all uniform options. They have all of the spirit wear. They are online as well. And we are working on finding another supplier to provide another option for parents. They're down on Americana Boulevard. I've received some feedback about, is there another place we can go for that? So our marketing committee is working on that, and we should have another supplier available soon. They're already ready to embroider middle school shirts, and then we are working on the spirit wear part of that. But for right now, this is where our spirit wear is available. Just a quick run through some common dress code issues. I hope you've had a chance to look at the handbook. There's a lot of policies and procedures in there. Our dress code, just some common issues we run into is, please make sure socks are solid color, gray, white, or black. Shoes, predominantly these colors, white, navy, black, brown. I left off gray. That's another one. So most of the shoe is a solid color, and we ask for no neon, sparkles, wheels, or light up shoes. Hair, no hair dye. Boys above the collar, over the ears, and girls and boys above the eyebrows. And then mass dress. Boys can wear a plaid or navy tie. You can purchase a tie in the office for $10. All must wear white button-up shirts or blouses, and we can't wear shorts or hoodies allowed on mass days. So I just like to go over some of the main infractions that we see with students is the socks and the shoes and hair and mass dress. So I am going to, this is the last few slides before we end the evening are regarding our auction. It's our major fundraiser for the school. Our home and school board is incredible, and each year we have 2 people that volunteer to host and plan for this major fundraiser. We try really hard at St. Mark's not to have multiple fundraisers. You know, we haven't in the past sold butter braids and wrapping paper. This is our one main fundraiser, and the monies raised from the auction really help promote the enrichment that we offer at the school. It helps us provide for a Moss field trip for 6th grade, for our teachers, for supplies in the classroom, for our Spanish program, the fact that we can afford to have instructional aids, and really it just helped. Honestly, the dinner auction is what helps keep our tuition costs low. Actual cost to educate is about $6,200, and so through this major fundraiser and help from our parish, we're able to offer tuition for substantially less than the actual cost to educate. So I believe I have one of our auction chairs on.
I'm here, Donna. Can you hear me?
Oh, there's Carmen.
There she is.
Yes, I can hear her. She's going to present our auction.
Well, thank you very much. I love seeing all these new families. Welcome to all. I'm Carmen Archibald. I'm co-chairing this year's dinner auction with a fellow St. Mark's parent, Jessica DeRocco. So I just want to take a couple minutes tonight to discuss Mission Possible. That's the theme of this year's dinner auction. And Don, if you'd advance the slide, that would be fantastic. So just for those that are not familiar with the dinner auction, it is the school's largest fundraiser of the year. It, like Donna said, it really allows us to offer enrichment programs that other schools aren't able to provide. When is the dinner auction? It is scheduled for Saturday, September 19th, beginning at 5 p.m. So just kind of, Donna alluded to the fluidity of the events. And so September 10th, we are still planning on having an in-person event. On September 10th, that's kind of like our line in the sand where we're going to make a go, no-go determination whether or not we have it in person or virtual. So we'll definitely keep you posted, but we are planning ahead to have it in person because it's great to break bread with our community. It's great to celebrate our school and our faith and just to congregate together. So we're still planning for it. If we need to, then we'll go to a virtual event. Who attends? Parents, parishioners, grandparents, faculty, friends and supporters of St. Mark's community, and hopefully you. And where is this? It's at a different facility. It's called the Barber Park Education and Event Center. So if you want to look it up, it offers, the nice thing about this is that it offers indoor and outdoor seating. So as far as social distancing and having some fresh air, this venue provides that. For those that are attending, and again, if we can attend in person, what do you wear to the event? So typically, since our theme is Mission Possible, folks really get creative with their wear. They try to go, they'll go as secret agents or spyware, or they might even kind of capture the feel of James Bond or Ethan Hunt from Mission Impossible. Next slide, please. Yeah, so what does the evening look like? If you've never attended like a dinner auction, doors open up at 5 o'clock, silent auction begins, drinking and socializing, drinks will be available with socializing. Father Ben will provide a blessing, and then our salad will be served at around 6:45, and then dinner will be served around 7. The live auction kicks off around 7:30, and the evening concludes at 10 p.m. A lot of folks ask me the question, what's the difference between the silent and the live auctions? The silent refers to items, baskets, gift packages that are available to the highest bidder using their mobile devices. So we use mobile bidding. So your phone works perfect for that. And then whoever wins that item at the end of the night takes it home. For those that are, the live auction is during dinner, and that is folks getting really excited and really charged up about taking home that specific and that special item. Next slide. Thanks so much. So how do you get a ticket to this awesome event? Tickets are $80 a person, and they go on sale on Friday, August 21st at 9 p.m. And there's the Auction Frogs link that's on this slide. Due to COVID, there's a limited number of tickets that are going to be sold. So if you'd like to sit with your family or friends, we will do our best to adhere to your seating preference and just make a note of it on your purchase, your ticket purchase. And Donna kind of alluded to the dinner auction hours. You can sign up, you can go to the sign up and see that there's a number of different ways you can help the dinner auction. And with that, I think I've covered kind of like the who, what, when, where, whys of the dinner auction. We hope to see you there. It's a great event. If you have any questions, you can either email us at stmarkschoolauction@gmail.com. You can contact Jess DeRocco, or you can contact me. Thank you so much, and welcome. Welcome to St. Mark's.
Thank you, Carmen. I'm excited. And again, just to reiterate, we need to make a final decision, and we chose the 10th. To decide whether we are going live with that or that it will be a virtual event. So thank you, Carmen. Thank you, Jessica DeRocco. Auction chairs, honestly, it's a full-time job, and they have spent all summer entertaining a million different scenarios and how we can safely provide a community building event for us all. So I can't thank you enough. I do want to thank some other folks that, like I said at the beginning, St. Mark's is an incredible community, and the support is overwhelming at times. And this summer has been especially challenging for Alan, our facilities manager. He is a one-man crew most of the time, and this summer we had several families volunteer to help us around the school. So we had the Finfrock family, the Barellas, the Martin family, the Chilton family, the Green family, the Anderson family, the Scott family, and we've even had some St. Mark's alumnus come by that graduated a few years ago to help Alan move some furniture around. And so I really want to take a chance to thank them, to say thank Father Ben for his support, thank the teachers who have been so flexible, and I think they are all with me that we really want you here. We want to see kids in our building, and we want to live the St. Mark's way. And we're so happy that you joined us, and we're looking forward to a good year. And so I just have like 2-3 questions, and then we'll end the evening. Thank you for your time. Somebody said, if you've taken the workshop elsewhere, do you need to take it again? No, you're on the online. You can take those yearly online updates. You should be fine. Ties, they're taking a long time to come in. Those plaid ties have to be ordered. If that hasn't come in, just a solid navy tie. We have them here in the office, and they're pretty easy to find out there if those plaid ties aren't coming in. And we will not be changing uniforms for PE. We have a locker room, but by the time we socially distance all of our students, it would be time to change back. So they will not be dressing down for PE at this time. Good questions. And I believe, and thank you. Anything else, Alan?
When does Friday Facts start showing up for you?
Friday Facts will be that first Friday of orientation week. So we start on the 17th, and so the 21st, is that Friday?
Yes.
Yes, the 21st, that'll be the first Friday constant contact, and they will come out every week.
Students, parent asking about school supplies, parents, or whether students will be sharing. Do they need to take them home with them at the end of the day, let them know they're not sharing?
Yep, school supplies. During this phase reopening and for the foreseeable future, we will not be community sharing school supplies. They'll have, the teachers have gotten bins for their students to keep them separate. So we will not be sharing. Some of you had wipes, Clorox wipes on your list. We fully understand that they are really, really hard to find. So if you don't find them, that's okay. I think that's all the questions. Again, thank you so much for choosing St. Mark's. And I know we're going to have some challenges, and we're going to have to be flexible and patient, but I'm confident we're going to have a great year. And welcome aboard. Have a good night. Thank you.
Just thank you so much. Where do you find the list for school supplies? Should have been online, right?